Hello everyone, and welcome back to our tips of the week, which we've had a bit of a break from, but we're now back. So if you've got any questions on poses, please do let me know. We're focusing this month on chair poses, poses with the chair, using the chair. And this week somebody's asked me about chair Vasisthasana. Now, Eyal Shafroni is a senior teacher from Israel, and he's written a book called the Extended Chair for Yoga book. He did have another book called Chair for Yoga, and this one's called the Extended Chair for Yoga. And it was this particular method that she was asking about from his book. I think it's on page 229 of his book. So if you've got a copy of that, this is what we're going to work from. She was having problems getting the position right. So I'm going to show you a few different ways to adjust the height on your chair so that you can do chair Vasisthasana. So the pose is basically a weight-bearing pose, and you support your outer hip on the edge of the chair and you take your hand down onto the floor. So if you were to do this in the middle of the room, you'd be weight-bearing through the arm and through the pressure of the foot down onto the floor. So this foot, the bottom leg foot, is turned downwards. The sole of the foot is turned towards the floor, and this leg is resting on top. And then you take the top leg towards you, you hold the big toe with the first two fingers, and then you take the leg up. So you can imagine if you're weight bearing, it's quite a difficult pose, quite a challenging pose, but a very invigorating pose to do as well. And with the chair support, you can manage it. Now, the thing is that the body shouldn't be resting down with the hips overly high. So if the arms are shorter and the body is kind of pushing down into the chair, then you need to take your hips a little higher with maybe an extra blanket, and then adjust the height accordingly under your hand. So I'm going to put 2 blankets there now, and I'm going to take a brick from my hand, and then you'll be able to see the difference in the angle of my chest. So there's a little bit more uniformity now. I've got my hips a bit higher. I've got a lift for my hand because my arms are quite short compared to my legs. It's a little more tricky to grab the foot now because of that extra height, but it makes for a more balanced pose for me. Other people with longer arms might still like that height, but they might like to have the hand on the floor, for example. So you need to just adjust the height up or down, but make sure it's a good thick height. If you haven't got much flesh here, it can be very bony on the edge of that chair. And always, 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 if you're using blankets, put a mat underneath them so that they don't slide around. The other way I want to show you, yes, I'll show the same way, is to have my feet against the wall. And I discovered this today, and it's actually really helpful if you're working on, say, trying to get the rotation in the top leg. I'm also going to grab a belt and show you how to use a belt to take the foot up, because that's the other problem, is that we can't always reach that foot. So if you're using a belt, you put the belt on the foot like so, and make the loop tight so that you can grab the tail of the belt. Just be careful when you're walking around that you don't step on it. And then you bring your hip once again to the edge of the chair. You have to measure up so that you can put your foot and press the big toe into the wall, and then stretch this arm down as usual. And now this leg, the top leg, you can press the foot into the wall and rotate the thigh, rotate the knee to get that rotational aspect that you need. And then if you're using the belt, you can walk your hand along the belt and then take that leg up if you need that extra length for your arm. And then you bring the leg down. Vasisthasana is a really invigorating pose, really good for strengthening your arms, strengthening your shoulder girdle. You have to have a good grip of the hips. The hips do need to be supported on that chair. And then when you come to do it on your own without the chair, you use that knowledge, and you can do it to varying degrees. You don't have to catch the foot, but we would normally come from downward facing dog, then you turn into that position that we just had on the chair. I'm using the wall for support. And then you can work on walking that leg up. You could maybe hold the belt around the foot and take the leg up, or just keep the leg here. And then you come back down into Adho Mukha Svanasana and go the other way. So I hope that's helped you with your practice towards Vasisthasana. Do experiment with the different levels on the chair and let me know any questions. Thank you.